Hello, welcome back to the Reading Mama. My name is Heather, and today I want to share the mid-year freakout tag. I am mama to 8, so my reading looks very strange. I homeschool and do a lot of things, and so far this year it's been very middle grade YA heavy, and then the other side is like very serious nonfiction. So I'm kind of all over the place, trying to figure out what kind of reader I am now that I've been doing this Booktube channel. But I digress. Let's dive into the mid-year freak out tag. So the very first one is best book of the year. So far, and that's hard. So I put it in a couple categories. So my best nonfiction, it's down to 2, and I can't decide which I love more. And honestly, I could put all of them up here. But I loved Saving My Assassin, and I love God Smuggler, and they're both very similar in the fact that they deal with Christianity in Behind the Iron Curtain. Saving My Assassin, you follow a woman who is growing up in Romania. She gets saved, you get her testimony, you get her life before that, and then she is a lawyer who helps to protect Christians' liberties in Romania when they really don't have any, but she finds ways to help them, and it's just amazing. She eventually leads her, it's called Saving My Assassin because she leads her assassin to the Lord. It's amazing. And then God Smuggler, you follow Brother Andrew, who's getting Bibles in Behind the Iron Curtain, and he talks about how he does it. And I love, I don't have the quote with me, but he says something about considering people to work with him, and it's like, if they're more worried about the politics than God, then they're not ready for this. And how is that? It's just, it's amazing. So God Smuggler or Saving My Assassin would be my nonfiction best books. My YA best books, I'm going to say either, it's going to go 2 ways. Tress of the Emerald Sea, which is science fiction, Brandon Sanderson, and you've got just this amazing heroine who's very humble, very thoughtful, and she goes out to rescue the man of her dreams, and I love it. It's hilarious. There's so many great nuances in it. And then my other YA fiction that I would be best of the year, that is I Must Betray You, and this is by Ruta Sepetys, again in Romania. Kind of got a theme for the year. But Ruta Sepetys has amazing characters, just like phenomenal. Absolutely love reading her books. She does so much research. She has so much knowledge about the different topics that she writes about, and does such a great job. But I Must Betray You, at least I believe it was in Romania. It's Behind the Iron Curtain, and it's at the fall of right when the wall started to come down, and they're the last country that's kind of dealing with that, and you follow a young man going through these different things. This is not a Christian fiction, but he is he's fighting for the liberties, and it's just very interesting to see it from that perspective. And then if I had to pick an adult fiction that I really love this year, it would be Switchboard Soldiers by Jennifer Chiaverini, and you follow 3 women through World War I, and it's just phenomenal. Couldn't put it down. You get a lot of information about what's going on during World War I and American life at the time. So it's just beautiful historical fiction, just done perfectly. And then I love her characters. I love the storyline of these ladies working for the switchboard, and how they handle all these different nuances. So those were my best books of the year so far. I know I kind of cheated there. Best sequel of the year so far would be Sunrise on the Reaping, which I know, again, I'm cheating. It's a prequel. But I really love that. I'm not going to talk about it because I think everybody's kind of tired of hearing about it, but it was really good, and I'm going to reread it as soon as I reread the rest of the series. New release that I haven't read yet, and that is going to be The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence, and it's part of the Library trilogy, and I started reading it last year only to discover it was an unfinished series. And it's really good. I can't remember exactly what the characters' names are. You follow them from different things, and basically they're different species living on this same area, and at one point, there's a point where you have like multiple realities, and in one group is the leader, and the other group is the leader. And I'm explaining this really bad. I'm gonna give you the what Amazon says about it. The fate of an infinite library hangs on one book, a book that holds the power to break the unbreakable. In the face of such forces, fragile things like hearts, family, and the world seem certain to fall. The people most vital to Levira, that's her name, are scattered across the space, time, and lost, divided into factions in mortal peril. And so it's kind of, you've got a love story in there, you've got dealing with different races, you've got political climates changing. There was like biological warfare at one point. Very science fiction-y, very just out there, so many things. But I'm loving it, can't wait to look forward to it. And then number 4 is a most anticipated release, and it's supposed to be one that's not published yet, but I think it came out this month, and that is The Crier Stone. And last year I read Chaos Grid thinking, I'm not gonna like this. This is not for me. But I loved it. I flew through it, got the ebook, and was flying through that one. And so I'm really looking forward to The Crier Stone and finding out what happens to her. Again, we have kind of a futuristic type world, and there's people in charge who, you know, the same old story. Big wigs in charge, little guys don't have much, and they're fighting to try to right that. You've got a rebel cause going on, and other things that are happening on the sidelines. And of course, there's a love interest, but it wasn't major. So yeah, it was a good YA. I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to rereading that. Biggest disappointment of the year, Nature Fix. I read the Nature Fix thinking this is going to be such a great book. And I'm not going to derail it completely. It had a lot of great science, which I love. And it talked about how nature, how important and vital it is to our lives, and they gave the scientific reasons. That's what I was there for. But so much swearing. When I pick up a nonfiction book about my health and basic well-being, I don't want to be bombarded with swear words. That's just shoddy writing. And so that was incredibly disappointing. Also, several classics. I have been pre-reading a lot of books for my high schooler, and I've picked up a lot of classics that I'm like, this is not great writing. Or I understand what they're trying to get across, but there's better books that get that point across now. And so, yeah, a lot of classics have just been really disappointing to me this year. Biggest surprise of the year was The Secret History of Home Economics. I picked it up on a whim as an audiobook on Libby. I was in between, waiting for all my books, and I saw that one. I was like, well, let's give it a try. Thinking, this is going to be a whole bunch of feminist mantra, blah, 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 blah. It was amazing. It rocked my world. It was awesome. Because basically you follow through the time of the invention of home economics as a science, and how it was created, what its purposes were, what its goals were, and how it transformed over the years. And it was just phenomenal. I'd read by that author again, but that particular book and subject were so, you wouldn't think you would like it because it's home economics, but you see the women in science, you see how they were trying to improve society in a practical way, not making committees and blah, 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 blah. No, getting out and doing things with actual homemakers and with young girls to help them to have cleaner, healthier, and happier homes. Truly awesome. I loved it. I was very surprised by that. Favorite new author? I just finished this yesterday. Say Sabah Tahir. That I'm really enjoying this series. I'm reading along with Krista at Books and GMs for the summer through this series, and I was really surprised. I love that book. Also, Jennifer Chiaverini. Amazing historical fiction. Those are kind of new authors to me, and I'm really loving their work. A new fictional crush. I don't really have crushes, so instead I took it to be my, somebody who really inspires me. And I could go, the traditional route, because I'm reading through the Anne series and there were a couple new characters in there. But I'm going to go with an oddball one here. Anna in, baby's waking up. Anna in The Midwife of Auschwitz. I loved her spunk. I loved her strength. I loved so much about her. She was just really inspiring, and I just really love that. New favorite character. This is like a love-hate thing, but I'm reading The Calculating Stars and I'm almost done with it. But Elma in that, I'm weirdly really enjoying her character. I like how she's written. I enjoy kind of the reality of her life, and I love the marriage. It's a sweet, wonderful marriage. And then also, it's a little bit, yeah. Anyways, it has the marriage things. But I also love that she's very real and is terrified of real things. So I don't know. Characters are not my best thing. Yeah. Also, I guess favorite new character also would be in one of the books called Secret of Nightingale Wood. There is a moth and that is pretty inspiring as well. Let's see here. A book that made me happy would be books by Brandon Sanderson. Trust of the Emerald Sea and Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians. I love them because they made me laugh out loud, and I love a good book that makes me laugh out loud. Just hilarious. Yeah, and my kids are like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, it's just hilarious. You'd think that would encourage them to read the book, but no, they won't pick them up. Book that made me sad, Secrets of Nightingale Wood. If I was going to put just any book that made me cry, I could put every single book I've read this year, probably, for the most part, except maybe Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians. But The Secrets of Nightingale Wood, you follow a young girl who's gone through some hardships, and this is after World War One, before World War II, and she and her family have recently lost her brother in a fire, you find out. And her mother also had a baby recently, and the mother is not doing well. So they've moved out of the city somewhere else to kind of recover from that, but mom is not doing well, and there's a doctor there who is very into new agey things of the 1930s, mind you, and he is not doing great things with his patients, and really it's tantamount to torture. But the mom is dealing with postpartum depression, and the daughter doesn't understand. She feels very abandoned. Her baby sister gets taken away from them for a while. Her dad's gone. She doesn't know why. And was heartbreaking, just heartbreaking. But you get encouraged by the end. But it was a cry. And that's like a middle grade book, but that would be a very heavy middle grade book, let me just tell you. A favorite book that I've read that's been made into a film, I don't know that that's really what the prompt is, but that's what we're gonna do, would probably be Unbroken. I think that Angelina Jolie did an amazing job with the movie, especially after reading the book. The book is amazing. Laura Hillenbrand does an amazing job. It's funny, it's witty, it's serious, it makes you cry. It's a biography, so, it is what it is. But the story of Louis Zamperini is just phenomenal. And knowing all the things he went through, and then to see that in the end, he gives his life to Christ, and he, turns his whole life completely around from during the war living in a house that they call the Porn Palace to creating a camp for outreach to youths to help save them from, going down the wrong road. It's just, wow. Amazing story. And I think that Angelina Jolie, who did the movie of it, did just a phenomenal job of really staying true to his life and to the biography. It's just great. A favorite review that I've made, probably I went back and watched my historical fiction review, and I don't even know if that's on here or if it's over on my homeschool channel. But in it, I mentioned G.A. Henty. And I love G.A. Henty. Love me some G.A. Henty. But I refer to the one, and I can't even think of what it's called now. But there's one that's about the Robert the Bruce and William Wallace and all of that in Scotland. And I refer to them as British bad guys. Because in that one, the British are the bad guys. And still today for some of you. It was a funny review. So there's that. Most beautiful book. So if I'm going to go by cover, I really, really, really love Saints and Monsters. The cover is just beautiful. And I believe it's a new cover this year. So kudos to you on cover for most beautiful there. If I was going to say most beautiful, like heart, not that Saints and Monsters isn't, I think it does a great job. But if I had to say for the whole year so far, I would say the Anne series. I've read the first 5 books in the Anne series along with Chantel Reads All Day, and it is beautiful. Just, some people don't like Anne because she's like overly gushy and things like that. But what I think is that she finds beauty in everything. Like when she sees somebody having a hard day, she might get frustrated in the moment, but then she stops and reminds herself, okay, I don't know what they're going through, or how can I help them? And just to see beauty in everything maybe Anne's my crush, but it did say a new favorite character, and Anne is not new. But to be like that is so beautiful, and I love it. And then the last part is books I need to read by the end of the year. There's so many. Go back, follow some of my videos. You can see I'm turning 40 in September, which is like 2 months away. And so I have 40 by 40, and I am not even close to finishing that. So I have a lot of books in there that I need to read. I have school books that I need to read for my kids before school starts, which is in like 4 weeks. So I have a lot I need to read. I'm not gonna bore you with all of that because it'll be coming out in my TBRs and in my wrap-ups. But yeah, I need to read a lot of things. And so I'm gonna hop off here and go read. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, drop your favorite emoji below and have a great day.